friends, welcome back to my channel and day 12 of our 13 days of Halloween series here at Polly's Paper Studio. If you want to check out the first 11 projects, you can find links at the top of the description so you can get caught up. And for today's project, I am inspired by the rub-ons that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And so we're going to create this very fun double accordion folio. This has tons of room for your pictures and memories of the holiday season, and they fold out to reveal all kinds of pages of those fun pattern papers. So if you are interested in making a book like this for yourself, then stick with me and we'll make it together. Here's those rub-ons from the Dollar Tree, and I have to be honest, when I picked these up, in my mind I thought these were stickers, and so that was a little bit of a surprise. That's okay. We overcame that just by using the rub-on on a white sheet of paper, and then I cut them out using a little bit of a border around, so they still look like ephemera or stickers. And so I just picked out the ones that I wanted to use, and I trim them so that I could rearrange them. And to be honest, I do that with stickers anyway so that I can move them around and get them positioned exactly where I want. So all of the images here have already been cut out and I'm ready to go with those. There was a couple of different varieties, and initially I thought I could mix and match them, but they are very different styles. This is pretty retro and a little whimsical, and these are more a little bit scarier with the jack-o'-lanterns. And so I'm going to hang on to these and use them for my October daily. So we'll hang on to that set. And then because I have all of these fun smaller images, I thought this collection that I picked up from scrapbook.com would be perfect because it didn't come with image cut aparts. It does have a sticker sheet, but it's kind of not my vibe. And so I thought this would be great to add those rub-ons to, since it didn't have its own images. The base for this accordion book does look complicated, but trust me, it is very simple. I'm going to be using my 65-pound weight black cardstock. The first piece is 5 high by 9 wide, scored at 4 and also 5. So this is going to be the shape of our book, and I do want to include some reinforcing by adding extra layers. And so I'm going to bring in a piece of that same black cardstock. It is 5 high by 8 wide and scored at 4. I have one for each side here. That will be a front and back cover. And I'm going to use my 2 glue combo. It's easier to pull the tape from one side and position it by lining it up here and folding it over. Then you can pull the tape from the other side. Add some more of your Tombow. And then wrap that around, secure it on the other side. So you just want to repeat the process for the back cover as well. So now we have our cover with the extra thick front and back. I want to just go ahead real quickly and add the pattern paper that will be covering the spine. And so I have a piece here that is 4 7/8 inch high by 7/8 inch wide. I'm going to put one on the inside and the outside as well. And this will just give it a little bit of extra sturdiness and finish it off with the same pattern paper. So this is much easier to do now than when we have all of our pages adhered. So this will be very cute for our spine. The next portion of the base is going to be the accordion portions, and I have 4 of these pieces cut. They are 5 high by 12 wide, scored at 4 and also 8. You'll need 2 for each side. We're going to join them together to extend the length of the accordion. So we're going to have adhesive on one side here, and then I will add my additional glue. And bring 2 of these sections together. We want to repeat that process for the other side. Then I'm going to fold these up so that I know the orientation. I want my accordions to flip out. So I need this one to start this way and then fold in this direction. So I've already added a little bit of my tape on the back, and this is another place where 2 glues is better than 1. So let's just go ahead and get this set of accordions glued to the cover. It is easier to line it up along this score line so that we know we don't accidentally go too far over and prevent this from opening properly. That tape will hold it in place while the glue sets up, so we can move on to the other section here. And I want this one to open outward as well, so we're going to add it here and it will go that way. When we fold it up, you can see we'll have all of our accordions inside there. So the next thing I want to do is begin to add my pattern paper. There are 2 sets of pages inside where I'm going to use a layering pattern. That seems to be a good anchor for my images. So I want to add those first so that I don't get confused about where they're supposed to land. So the great thing about this book is all of these pages will have the same measurements for the pattern paper. So we're at 4 7/8 by 3 7/8, and that's all the way through, as well as the front and the back cover. So I might just pull this a little closer and try and keep it in frame there. I just want that same nice black border all the way around. These 2 pages that will show together that have the rub-ons are going to match. So I've got this jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and then I'm finishing it on the bottom with the houndstooth pattern. I want to repeat that process for this side as well. I'm just going to add those rub-ons when we get these pages added, and then we can keep going through and filling up the pattern papers. So this set will match when you open the book. And then I also want this last set to match. So I've got my pattern paper here. For both of these sides. And then here is my layering pattern. I really definitely recommend using a sticker that's flat or a rub-on for these because there's not a lot of room in between each of these layers for dimensional items. So I would recommend just keeping these flat because they fold up fairly compactly. So I want to border the outsides with the same pattern on this again. And so I'm just going to keep working along and adding these. This is actually going to be a fairly quick album to put together since you have all of your pieces cut the same. And so you just have to decide if you want to have matching or you want to alternate your patterns. I decided that I wanted to alternate, so I'm going to wind up with 10 sets of 2 pages, which will cover the whole inside as well as the outside cover. So I'm just going to pull one side of this open and add some additional pattern papers. I'm gonna fold this up now and work on my images for the pages that I'm going to use those rub-ons. So let's fold this back up. And I just picked out the ones that I liked. They are added with only flat adhesive. There's no dimensional parts under here. But now I think you can see why I chose to add those layering patterns to the pages that are going to get the rub-ons. So I'm going to use one larger one here and then join a couple of smaller ones on this side so that it has the same sort of visual impact. So that will be these 2 pages done. I really think the orange from those rub-ons coordinates so well with this collection. Then I'm going to open this page up too, and this is going to get just the remaining pumpkins that were on that sheet. This one has 2, and then one of them has a hat, and there's a little ghost. So I thought this would be a nice way to combine these 2 images to make them look a little bit bigger. Making sure not to extend beyond that score line so they don't get bent up. Okay, so here is the inside. Here's the first 2 pages, and then our accordion will fold outward, and then it's finished on the back side as well. I'm gonna finish the back of our book with the coordinating collection paper here, and then flip it over. I want to add my ribbon closure now, so I'm tacking that on just with a piece of my tape. And this is a beautiful checkerboard satin from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I want to make sure I have enough to tie a very generously sized bow. And then I will seal that in between with the pattern paper that will be the base for the cover. It's easier to work on this if I get it flat onto my work surface. So here's my layering pattern, more of that spider. This helps to break up a little bit of that busy argyle pattern. And then I've got my doily. I did switch back to my black cardstock for this. It's a Recollection doily, and I just want to add that right to the center. I've got a couple of my rub-ons here to layer up for my focal image, and the first one I want to add is just this little ghost. I want to capture that in between these layers so it's a very nice layered effect. And this large sentiment was also a part of that rub-on sheet. I just added it to white paper, and then I used a circle die to clip that out. And I'm just going to add this here on a spacer. So we're building some dimension. 2 remaining images here, and I have the portion that will overlap that edge with spacers as well. So I make sure to support that and keep everything on an even surface. So I'm going all the way up here with that. I'm just going to kind of tuck that in so that we don't cover too much of our sentiment. And then I'm going to layer an additional image. This is that cat, and he's going down here as well. So you can still read that sentiment very easily. Here's my flower arrangement for this corner, and I have one of those flowers that I made in the video where we created the florals for this series. So I'll link that at the top of the description if you want to go check that out. But I just have it finished with some die cut leaves, some netting loopy twine bows, and more of that beautiful checkerboard satin ribbon. And I'm just going to put that all the way down here to the bottom. I also want to include a couple of charms, of course, to embellish this top corner. So these are just some little owls, and I'm going to add those as I do with my hot glue. And then I'll just top it with that button, and that will hide the cut strings. Now we can get our sequins out, and it's time for the question of the day. So I want to put one of my sequins up here on the top and one on the side, and then to balance it I'll bring the last one down here on to the base, and that way we're going to get a nice full area of embellishing and everything balances well. So I'll just go ahead and add those with my Tombow. And for the question of the day, it is a bit controversial, I think. Yay or nay? Candy corn. Some people love it and some people don't. I do love it, especially if you can have it with a nice cup of hot black coffee. So let me know in the comments, are you team yay or team nay for the candy corn? Here is our last sequin. So that's all for our double accordion folio for day 12. If you enjoyed this project, make sure you come back for day 13. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe. You can find links for the products I mentioned in the description, as well as for our social media sites. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.